Hello students, today I will conduct our e-lecture, online lecture for the subject CLSP, BCCA 3rd year 6th sem. As you all are aware that we are going through with our unit 2. The unit 2 has the heading that is procedure of incorporation of the company. Now in this unit the topics which are included right from the incorporation till the winding up of the company, means how the company gets incorporated, okay, then what is the role of promoter in that, what are the documents which is required for the incorporation of the company, what are the liabilities, what are the duties which a promoter is performing, okay, then we have seen what is promotion, what exactly the promoters do or how they perform their job, how they perform their work in case of incorporation of a company. Then we have seen memorandum, articles of association, memorandum of association, and prospectus of the company. Okay, what are the different types of prospectus? Okay, then we have seen the difference between memorandum and articles of association, which is the primary document, which is the secondary document. All we have gone through it. Correct. Now today we will start with winding up of the business. Now company is open, okay, completed all the formalities, all the 11 steps, 12 steps which are included in incorporation. Now because we need to understand the different topics related to company, so right from the incorporation till the winding up or closing up of the business we need to understand. So in this particular presentation or in this particular lecture we will see what is winding up of the company. Deadlock in the management. This is one of the reasons. See, when there is a total deadlock in the management of a company and there is no other practical remedy, the winding up is the only option. See, when after incorporation, after completing all the formalities, the business is now started. But maybe due to any undue reason or maybe due to unexpected reason, the management is not in a position, the businessman or the entrepreneur is not in the condition to continue his business. So completely he has tried his level best to continue his business. Okay, he has taken loan from the outside, he has appointed a very experienced and knowledgeable persons for his business purpose, but still all the things are not doing, and only closing down of the business, winding up of the business is the only last remedy, practical remedy which a businessman is having, which is called deadlock. Means he is completely vanished, he has no other option than winding up, so he is closing down the business, he has to put a lock on his office, and that is what is, he has to close down his entire business activities. That is what is deadlock in the management. So that is the one of the reason. Then losses, where it is impossible to carry on the business of the company due to loss, then it is just and equitable to wind up the company. How long the entrepreneur can survive the loss, how long he can go with the losses, okay, maybe for year or maybe for 1.5 year or 2 year he will occur the loss, but not for the longer time. Ultimately loss means what, it is a liability for him, he has to pay to his creditors, he has to give interest to the banks, he has to pay so many amounts which he has taken on a loan from other financial institutions also, so he cannot survive in that condition. So in case of loss he has to close and wind up the business. Oppression of minority, it means, see what is the meaning of it, sometimes directors of the company abuse their power at such extent which seriously prejudices, means harm or injury that may result from action. So the interest of minority shareholders, in such a case winding up takes place. Means see, the rights, the powers which has been given by the board of directors or by the owner of the company to the director and managing director. What is the difference between owner and the director? Owner, for example, Ambani, they are the owner, they are the what you say, the entrepreneur, big entrepreneur. All the reliance is in the hand of Ambanis. So they are in the board of directors. They are the original persons who are running the business, and they are appointing persons like directors or managing directors. but the powers, okay, the authority, then the work which has been given to them, the amount which is paid in way of salary, they are highly paid employees. But when they are using, means the directors are using their power at such an extent, it means against the power they are working. They are not doing work in their particular criteria or in their circle. They are overutilizing their powers, and due to that reason, the business is going to put in loss. Means they are the persons who are not running the business, or maybe it is possible that they are earning any secret profits, and that is the reason that they are working or they are doing the business against the interest of the minority shareholders. Okay, shareholders are the real owners. Okay, equity shareholders are the real owners. It is said in the business that the company can run successfully on the base of shareholders. Okay, but if the directors are working for their own sake and they are not taken care of their shareholders, they are not paying the dividends in due time, okay, they are giving the wrong information in prospectus, so in that case the company has to wind up. Means in such situation the wind up is the only option. Then fraudulent or illegal purpose, if a company has been formed to carry out any illegal purpose, then it is ground for winding up. Any fraud, if any employee appointed on a higher authority, not only not every time the director or managing directors are responsible, maybe supervisor or the persons who are working in the middle level of the management, okay, they are doing something against the aims and objectives of the company, against the memorandum of association, then it is called a fraud or illegal business activities. And where the illegal and fraudulent business activities taken place in any management in any company, then unfortunately the business has to be closed, or there is a situation that winding up must take place. So, fraudulent or illegal purpose. Public interest. Where public interest demands the tribunal. What is tribunal? A body established to settle certain types of disputes or court of justice may order winding up. Okay. Again, shareholders are the main persons, equity shareholders are the real owners. So, when the company is working against the public interest, okay, then these shareholders demands the tribunal. And what is the tribunal? A body established to settle certain types of disputes or court of justice. It means some disputes are taking place in the organization, and that is not in favor of the shareholders, that is not in the public interest. So in that case, public interest means public demands, the shareholders demands to close down the business or to wind up the business. So in that case, the company may wind up their business activities. So this is one of the reason for winding up of the company. Then failure to pay dividends. Failure to pay dividends to its members can be the ground for winding up. See, these are the very simple and small reasons, but on this base, the company is never going to wind up. But if the members, the shareholders are not getting their dividends since last 2, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, it means it is their right to ask for the wind up of the company. Either wind up the company, otherwise pay our dividends. The members and the shareholders can demand. So these are the reasons for winding up of company. Then role of an official liquidator. Okay. Now liquidator is authorized authenticated person who is involved in case of winding up of the business. So he is called a official liquidator. Now who is official liquidator? Liquidation is also known as a winding up in is a process by which a company's existence is brought to an end. Okay. Liquidation means closing down the business or shutting the business activities. For this purpose, a liquidator is required which serves the following purpose. Now liquidation. Liquidator is a person appointed by the government or by the unsecured creditors or on demand of court order or to manage the winding up of a firm by selling of its assets. Liquidator is a person. Simply you need to understand here what is that. Who is liquidator? Liquidator is a person, official person, may be demanded, may be asked by the government, by the unsecured creditors or by the court order. For what reason? To manage the winding up activities of the firm. Now, how he manages? By selling of its assets, by selling of company's assets. Because why there is a time of liquidation, or why company or businessman has to close down the business? Because there are the overdues, the debts are at large scale. Okay, the dividends are not paid to the shareholders. Then the shareholders, the members are not happy with the working of the company. So in that case, winding up takes place. So most companies require a suitably qualified liquidator. On appointment, the liquidator, it is assumed that he controls the business, collects and auctions off its free assets in reasonably short time. Okay, he has a complete responsibility of winding up of the business. So he is called as a liquidator, and he pays the unsecured creditors from the proceeds of the sale, and if any left, then he distributes it among the shareholders in proportion to their shareholdings. Okay, this is the job of exactly the official liquidator. Now, how he is appointed? He is appointed either by the shareholders or by the court. The liquidator represents the interest of all the creditors. Okay, ये liquidator का काम ही है. This is the job of liquidator, to pay off the amount of the creditors. First of all, what he has to do? He has to sell the assets and pay the debts of the creditors, to pay the dividends of the shareholders and members. Okay, and if anything left after selling out all the assets, then again he distributes among the shareholders in proportion to their shareholdings, means in proportion to the securities which has been purchased by the shareholders. So what he does, he supervises the liquidation, that is collecting and realizing the company's assets, discharging the company's liabilities and distributing any funds left over among the shareholders. Means he has to take care, means he has to first of all calculate how much is the debt, how much money needs to be paid to the persons, means who are the creditors. At the same time, since how long the dividend is not paid, means he has to keep each and every record. He has to go through with all the documents, all the available data of the company, and after going through, after examining all the things, which means like examining the amount of assets, he has to sell the assets, and after selling those assets, because he is not going to pay from his own pocket. Okay, whatever the company is having, whatever the things are left over with the company, in that case he has to sell. Maybe he has to say, what do you say, sell the furniture. Okay, after selling the furniture, how much amount is received, then he will pay back to his creditors, to his shareholders. Okay, this is how the process of liquidation takes place. Then payment of liabilities, liquidator, who is doing these liabilities? Liquidator is doing liabilities. So payment of liabilities made by the liquidator in case of winding up of the business. Now the first is unsecured creditors. They need to prove their claims against the company. They may realize their securities and satisfy the debts. They may put up their claim before the liquidator for deficiency, if any. If secured creditors feel that their securities may not realize a sufficient amount, they may relinquish the securities held by them and prove their whole debt before the liquidator. Means, see, now there are 10 creditors, and out of 10 creditors, one creditor is saying this much is the amount which I need back. Okay, means because he has to pay, he is the creditor of the company. But what company says, no, our amount is not as much as what you are saying the amount. For example, creditors say I need 2 lakhs from your end, and the company says no, as per our account, as per our ledger, the balance amount is only 1,80,000. Means first of all, the liquidator has to see. Okay, he has to go through with the accounts, go through with the ledger or any other official documents, any other financial statements. Then he will scrutinize. Then he will see what exactly is the difference between, and whatever is the actual amount. Okay, it is not every time creditor is correct and he whatever the amount he is saying that company will pay. This is where the job of liquidator is very important. He will look into the matter. He will see how much amount is said by the creditor and how much amount is showing in the statements or in the documents of the company. Then he will match the amount, he will tally the accounts, and he will give the amount back to the creditor. So secured creditors or any creditors amount. Legal expenses. All legal expenses are made out of the cash realized. Okay, whatever the cash has been realized after selling the assets, all the legal expenses are paid. Then remuneration of the liquidator. Generally, the liquidator gets his remuneration in the form of commission. Okay, this is based on the assets realized. Cash and bank balance is not included unless it is inclusion in specifically mentioned. Surplus of secured creditors, it mostly included the amount of assets realized for the calculation of liquidator's commission. So, how he is what, because he is doing the job of liquidator, then obviously he is a paid person. Okay, the company has to pay him. So this is here in this point it is said remuneration of the creditor. How he gets? In proportion to the, it is based on the assets realized. Cash and bank balance, it is included, it is not included unless if the inclusion is specifically mentioned. अगर कंपनी के मेमोरेंडम में ऐसा कुछ मेंशन है, then only the cash and bank balance will be included in case of calculating his commission. Okay, this is how he is paid. Then next is, this is all about the remuneration of the liquidator, but we need mainly we need to see the payment of liabilities. Then next we will see expenses and cost of binding. Okay, first of all it is the job of the liquidator. Okay, what are the unpaid amounts, what are the expenses, what is the amount of the creditors who need to be paid. So he will examine all the, he will analyze the things, and then he will calculate the cost of winding up. Payments to preferential creditors. Okay, preferential creditors means the persons who are on top priority. Okay, who need to pay first. Then the creditors means here preferential creditors, the persons, the creditors who are in the list since last 5 years. Okay, so whatever is the maximum year pending creditor. Okay, if the creditor is pending due to last 7 years, he will be paid first, then it will be 6, then 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so slowly and gradually the preference will be given to the, to those creditors who are long awaited for paying their amount for their, what you say, debts on the company. So liquidator will decide according, or he will give the preference as per the long pending amount of the, as per the long pending creditors of the company. Then payment to debenture holders and creditors who have floating charges on the assets of the company. So these are the charges, specific charges which he has to calculate and he has to pay to the debenture holder and creditors. Then payment to unsecured and ordinary creditors. Again, unsecured and creditors. So creditors are bifurcated first. Who are on top priority, who must be given the top preference. Then who are the secured creditors, who are unsecured creditors, who are ordinary creditors, and accordingly the liquidator will pay their amounts. The payments to the members or contributors. Okay, the members, shareholders are paid as per the rules and regulation, as per the amount mentioned pending on their name has been paid by the liquidator. Now regarding the members, if any of them has paid in excess of the amount of call made on him, that will be returned to him first, and then the preference shareholders are given, and thereafter is any surplus is left, that will be distributed among the equity shareholders. Any surplus still left will also go to the equity shareholders unless the preference shares are the participating preference shares as per the terms of the issue. See, we will see in our next unit, that is shares, debentures and company. First, you need to understand what is the difference between member and shareholder. It is not necessary that every member is a shareholder or every shareholder is a member. We will see the difference in, because there is a specific chapter in your syllabus, we will see that. So this specific thing is mentioned for them. What you need to see, what are the main points. Okay, first of all you need to go through why the company is on the verge of winding up. Okay, why there is a time to close down the business. Then you have to examine the reasons. Then you have to see what are the liabilities of the company in case of winding up, and who is deciding all the things. Liquidator. He is a official, he is a authorized and authenticated person, may be demanded by the government, may be demanded by the court of law, by the court order, or by the unsecured creditors, or by the creditors of the company. So at that time, the appointment of the liquidator is made when the company is closing down or winding up of the company. At that time, liquidator is appointed, and that liquidator is called official liquidator. Now, these are the certain terms which you need to know. Court and National Company Law Tribunal. Court. What is court? Every one of you must have heard this word court, court of law. Okay. Means in general, if we say, then what is the meaning of court? Court is a place where justice has been given to the general public. Okay. The person like you and me even can go to court for justice, for the sake of justice. Now, court is also called a court of law. What is court? A person or body of persons having judicial authority to hear and resolve disputes in civil, criminal or military cases. ओके कोर्ट क्या है? कोर्ट इज अ प्लेस. कोर्ट का एक ऑफिस होता है, कोर्ट की एक बिल्डिंग होती है विच इज नोन एज अ कोर्ट ऑफिस और अ place where that office is situated. So court is also known as a court of law. It is a person or body of persons having judicial authority. Judicials means they are the authenticated, appointed, or what you say, they have got certain degrees, they have got certain education to, and so it is called judicial authority. It is the authority which is given to them, so they are judicially attached to that particular matter. They are legitimate persons, and they are known as a, we call them as legal persons. Okay, or they are the what we call them, they are the legal advisors many of the time. Okay, if you have any problem, then you go to advocate. They are the legal advisors, they are the advocates. So they are called judicial authority to hear. First of all, if you go to them, they will listen, they will hear, and then they resolve the disputes. In which cases? In civil, criminal or military cases. Correct? So this is what is court. Then next is the central government has constituted National Company Law Tribunal, which is known as NCLT. What is it is known as National Company Law Tribunal under section 408 of Companies Act 2013. Okay, with effect from 1st June 2016. So this is the latest term or latest inclusion in the Companies Act 2013. So it is constituted, or it is what you say, came into existence from 1st June 2016. Before that, there was no concept of any tribunal. Okay, but all the matters related to the companies which are solved in NCLT, that is National Company Law Tribunal. So it came into existence with effect from 1st June 2013. All the proceedings under the Companies Act, including proceedings relating to compromise, arrangements, reconstruction, merging, amalgamation, demerging, winding up of the companies, shall be disposed of by the National Company Law Tribunal. So what is the job of National Company Law Tribunal? All the proceedings, all the what you call it as all the procedures, all the proceedings, all the formalities which are required in case of amalgamation, in case of merging, in case of compromise, arrangements or reconstructions and winding up of the companies will be taken care or will be solved under National Company Law Tribunal. Correct? So this is how we have completed our unit 2. So we will stop here. The same thing I will give you, means same thing we will revise in our Zoom meeting, in our next coming Zoom meeting. So I will stop here. Today we have finished our unit 2, and then I will start our unit 3, that is shares, debentures and company matters. So thank you.